So tonight, because you had mentioned just a moment ago Takeshita, we had Danielson versus Brian Cage, and just last week we saw Takeshita say he was going to have Danielson's back because MJF's an asshole. He was a little bit slow on it tonight.
But he has his back though.
Uh, so remember, very important that during the promo segment last week, MJF specifically told him to rip off his arm.
Yep.
He spent a lot of time working over that arm.
He worked on that arm the whole match. For sure. Dude. I I love how Bryan Danielson makes this match work with Brian Cage, because Brian Cage is he's a little bit, yeah, he's huge, and he's more of a walking to spots kind of wrestler, whereas things all go smooth with Danielson, and he made it work here, because what he did was he worked around the stiffness of Cage.
Yeah. Plus, they played the little bit of David and Goliath story early on.
Mm-hmm.
Or boxing analogy, like you stick to the outside, hit him with speed. Because early on, Danielson was just flying all over, trying to stick and move with him.
Yeah. He makes it so believable that he has a chance against, because in a real world, but he makes it believable by the way he moves that he's got a shot here.
Yeah.
And that's what he's supposed to do, but he always does such a great job.
So at one point, Cage hits a press slam onto the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Commentary was freaking out over it at first.
Because what the heck, man? Because Danielson's not a big guy, but to be able to control someone else's body weight like that, because you've picked people up before, body weight is not evenly distributed. At all.
And if they're moving at all,
yeah,
it shifts and moves so much that you aren't them, so you don't know how it's going to shift.
Yeah. So yeah, to be able to control Danielson's body like that, just jeez.
At one point, just to speak of size difference and controlling the body, Danielson goes for the Bazooka knee. Cage catches him, lifts him up even higher. Turnbuckle powerbombs him. Powerbombs him again. So I realized I was only halfway through my notes, but this is the end of the match. Because when he goes for the third powerbomb, Danielson rolls over the top, rolls him up, and gets the win.
Yeah. Even see, I didn't like that part. I liked it. It looks cool, but you just got powerbombed twice by a massive mound of person, and you just rolled him up out of that. So you just essentially no-sold 2 power bombs.
Basically.
All right, Bryan Danielson, the fucking Terminator.
It'd be different if it was the type of roll-up that you would trap somebody in more. For instance, you get just enough breath and you do a small package. That's where you kind of trap somebody, right? This kind of float over roll, there's not much to it in terms of trying to trap somebody's limbs in any kind of way.
Yeah. But Danielson gets another win. Will he get the shot to face MJF at Revolution? Nobody knows. but he's on his way. I'm just kidding. We all know.
I want to say we all know, but we have seen it in AEW past, where somebody loses like their right to go after the championship, and then they turn around and win like a casino ladder match like 3 weeks later. I'm looking at Hangman Adam Page.
Okay.
Because he had that match where it was all Dark Order versus all like the Elite. And if Dark Order won, he got a World Championship match, but the Dark Order tag teams also got a tag team championship match against the Young Bucks. This is when the Elites were heel and they were all the champions. But if they lose, Hangman gave up his World Championship match. Fast forward to Revolution or the pay-per-view, he comes, or whatever day it was, I think it was actually Dynamite. He shows up, wins that Casino Battle Royal ladder match, and still got a title shot. But he also had a baby during that time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Danielson either way. We know it's Danielson. Even if they try to throw us for a loop, it's going to be Danielson.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very obvious when they set all this stuff up a month ago.
It's like, hey, this is how we're going to build to the pay-per-view that's like 2.5, 3 months away. You're going to get like 5 straight weeks of great Bryan Danielson matches.
No. How's he going to put on another match after he got his arm all messed up?
Because after the match, Cage continues to attack him. MJF starts to come out. He actually is getting sick and tired of the bell being rung. Snatches that up.
I was too.
Right? Especially because there was a time in there that Cage like basically quit attacking him, and they're still going crazy on the bell.
Ding ding. I'm just like, all right, you don't have to keep ringing that bell. Nobody's coming out. Nothing's happening. And then MJF came out. He's like, I'm here to save the day, you guys. The bell is going away.
You would think he was there to save the day because before he was ever shown on TV, you hear a big ass crowd reaction.
He did save the day. He got rid of the bell.
But he also...
You can't put... He did.
But he also grabbed a chair when he was over there, and they wrapped Danielson's arms in it, and then Cage shoved him into the ring post on the outside. Got him in the ring. MJF lays into him. Cage wraps his arm they wrap his arm in the chair again. MJF looks like he's about to do the whole jump off thing and smash his arm in the chair because he really wants that arm broken.
Yeah. But he's an asshole. So Takeshita came out. He's like, nah, asshole. You're not about to jump on my hero's arm through a chair. MJF ran away real fast. He was looking real scared, too.
And then Takeshita hit a running, flying knee on Cage and set him out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that flying knee is going to look when he gets with some people that can really, really sell it.
Yeah. Because, yeah, like I said, Cage is very stiff. And he's just like, oh.
Which is funny because he's agile, but because he has so much muscle mass, he's like literally like a tank. It's like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird because, yeah, when he moves, he can move, but the way he sells stuff lets you know that his body is just...
So, later on, we get 2 different parts, in which one, we get Danielson in the trainer room. Renee has a ton of history with him. She's going back there. She's trying to check on him. The doctors seem to speak gibberish.
he just made up some stuff. It was like, what? All right. But basically, Danielson was saying that he's wrestled on separated shoulders before, so no one's gonna stop him from wrestling.
Yeah. And he's gonna show the world that MJF is a fraud, and he's gonna be the champ.
Yeah.
I think both this and the MJF video that we'll talk about next, both of them could have been shorter because it felt kind of awkward at times.
This definitely should have been shorter. The MJF one, I'm in the middle on that. But the Danielson thing, definitely. You could have just snapped back there to Doctor just saying, oh, it's a blobbity hoopla. It's a gobbledygook injury that I just made up.
He might have actually said gobbledygook. Seriously, it's not that much like gibberish.
I'm almost certain that it was not actually like a medical thing that he said. He was like, in my medical opinion, like, in your medical opinion, the tiddlywinks did what?
So after that, MJF's back there. First, he addresses Takeshita. He makes the same kind of joke about Takeshita's name, but he acknowledges that it's a joke. Unlike what he said last time, where he says he doesn't know and he's never seen any of his stuff, he says Takeshita's good, but he can't keep up with MJF, so it's best to stay out of his business. Now, it's funny that Danielson says he's going to show that MJF's a fraud, but he's going to show that Danielson is, because everyone thinks he's fighting on like he's some kind of hero, but that's what the fans think. But MJF's gonna expose him and show the world that he's obsessed with the championship just like he is.
Yeah, he's obsessed. So I didn't get the reference when he said that he beat a tall guy that looks like Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, because what he was talking about is like, that's when he started talking about this is physical pain. He can dive into mental pain, right? Like, just talk about the things that he'll do. I think that's what it was, but he was talking about, I'm pretty sure he was talking about Regal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. I couldn't figure that one out. I was like, a tall guy that looks like Ellen DeGeneres. I guess, yeah, he kind of looks like him.
I don't think it was tall. I think he said something else, but yeah, old man. I can't remember. But my guess from the way it was talked about was Regal, especially because he was talking about mental pain and
because it was a tall British guy. Definitely, he said tall English or British or whatever, but I don't know.
But yeah, he talks about Danielson wanting to take the title from him, and it's the one thing that like makes his catchphrase true. It's like, being the champion makes me better than you, and you know it. Talks about there being an open contract for Danielson's next match next week, and he made the call to get one of the most, like, the guy who enjoys inflicting pain, punishment, injury, all that good stuff. Roll the clip. You don't know anything about Timothy Thatcher, do you?
Nope.
So how I described him during the show was someone built like Claudio, tall, a little bit lanky, technical like Danielson, but vicious and enjoying violence like Mox. It should be a really good match.
Yeah. That'll be cool then.